the most accepted code of Jewish law by everyone. Sfaradim, Ashkenazim, Hasidim, Chabad, and everyone else is the Shulchan Aruch, written by Rabbi Yosef Karo in 1565. Basically what he did is that he compared the opinion of the three biggest halachic rabbis, the Rambam, Rif, and Rosh, took the majority as the final halacha. Rabbi Yosef Karo divided the Shulchan Aruch in 4 parts: Or HaChaim, Yoreh De'ah, Even HaEzer, and Choshen Mishpat. One of the most popular modern books based on Shulchan Aruch today is the Yalkut Yosef, which is written based on the rulings of Maran Ovadia Yosef, written by his son Rav Yitzchak Yosef. The Yalkut Yosef essentially takes everything that the Shulchan Aruch says and applies it to situations of today that weren't an issue in the time of Rabbi Yosef Karo. For example, like using a crockpot on Shabbat or how to properly use timers on Shabbat. These are things that they didn't have back then, so therefore it wasn't written, but we need to know how to deal with it today. So B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to be starting a new series of halachot based on the Yalkut Yosef, covering practical law and guidance to Jews worldwide. We're going to start with Volume 1, Ashkamat HaBoker, which contains the laws of waking up in the morning, and B'ezrat Hashem, Hashem will bless our efforts in spreading more Torah around the world. We're going to start with Siman 1, Halacha 1. It says, a person has to gird his strength in the manner of a lion to rise in the morning in order to serve his Creator. One should rise before the dawn, as it says in Tehillim 57:9, wake up my soul to the lyre and harp as I awaken the dawn, which implies, I will waken the dawn will not wake me. There are many excuses one can come up with to stay in bed. A great example is when the Yetzer Hara comes to a person in the winter and convinces him that it's too cold, I'm too tired, I can't get out of bed right now, there's no way I can do that. I'm way too comfortable here right now. Or in the nights in the summer when they're shorter, the Yetzer Hara tells the person, I haven't had my full night's sleep. I can't lose out on my rest. I need to snooze a few more times. I need another 10 minutes. Rambam in Moreh Nevuchim, Unit 3, Chapter 52 writes that one has to realize in whose presence one is sleeping. The Holy One, blessed He, hovers overhead. Like it says in Yeshayahu 6:3, the entire world is filled with His glory. So, if we actually take a moment and think about the magnitude of Hashem's greatness, we would understand how sinful it really is to remain in bed and oversleep. If you check the science, if a person looks into what actually happens and what miracles takes place to your body just to wake up every morning, it's going to be a little difficult not to feel embarrassed to keep pressing the snooze button while Hashem performs His miracles on our bodies. The Rama states, when you lie down to sleep, you should realize in whose presence you are lying. And as soon as you wake up, jump out of bed and begin serving Hashem. Because if someone is filled with the fear of Hashem's presence when he lies down to sleep, in order to replenish his strength, he's not going to have any issues when he wakes up. Since he's using his sleep as a mitzvah, the Yetzer Hara will have no control over him. Siman 1, Halacha 2. Yehuda ben Tema says, be bold as a leopard, light as an eagle, swift as a deer, and strong as a lion in performing the will of your Father in heaven. The first one to be bold as a leopard, a very rare but extremely important trait, especially in our days. Many times, people want to do mitzvot, but they don't, because they're afraid that others will make fun of them. The Tana instructs us to adopt the trait of boldness and not to pay attention to the taunts and people in our surroundings, similar to the teaching of Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai in Bachot 28b. May it be that your fear of God match the fear of mere mortals. People are ashamed to act incorrectly in the view of others. Again, we're afraid of people's disapproval. But we aren't ashamed to act incorrectly in front of Hashem. Hashem sees what we do all the time. Obviously, this won't look very good for us. Pirkei Avot 2:1. There's an eye that sees, an ear that hears, and all your deeds are written in a book. Everything will be revealed. So, we're told here to be bold and to pay no attention to those who try to ridicule us for fulfilling Hashem's will. Because it's Hashem's will that we're trying to fulfill, not ours or our friends or random people. During the time King David was running from Shaul HaMelech, who was searching to kill him, he said in Tehillim 119:46, I speak about your laws in the presence of kings, and I feel no shame. He was forced to run away and to find a place to hide from Shaul HaMelech. He ended up finding a place, the place of neighboring kings, which were Goy kings, and even in that situation, the kings were making fun of him. But King David still didn't stop his daily routine. This teaches us that we have to be bold in these types of circumstances when we're doing mitzvot. But this isn't an excuse to start conflict, meaning we have to be careful not to use boldness as an excuse to be arrogant and pretend like it's okay because we're doing a mitzvah. As we know, you can't do a mitzvah with the outcome being a sin. The Mishnah Berurah warns us that if we are personally being made fun of or embarrassed for a certain mitzvah that we're doing, we shouldn't pay attention to these people. Just ignore them, keep doing what you're doing, do it for the sake of heaven. Don't start fighting with these people. But on the other hand, if someone wicked is misguiding you or someone else, whether that being a person or a group of people, trying to make them go off the derech, we are obligated to protest against it. It's 100% forbidden, and it's putting people's world to come in danger. As it says in Tehillim 119:21, I act with hate toward those who hate you, Hashem, and I fight those who rise up against you. I hate them with utmost hatred, King David says. Going back to the verse, to be bold as a leopard, light as an eagle, swift as a deer, and strong as a lion. The trait to be light as an eagle refers to our eyes. We have to train ourselves never to look at forbidden things. Seeing with our eyes is many times the first step that leads to all sins. The eye sees something, then the heart desires it, which leads the person to perform the rest of the sinning. The trait of being powerful as a lion refers to our hearts. Every Jew has to exercise great power and self-control when it comes to the service of Hashem. That we have to strengthen the heart. That we have to conquer this evil inclination that comes to us first thing in the morning. Yeah, it's hard at first, but a person will get used to it once implemented enough times. Next, the trait of being swift as a deer refers to our legs. When there's a mitzvah to be performed, one should run to it, don't put it off. The most important mitzvah is the one we have right now. The longer we wait, the faster the Yetzer Hara runs to dissuade us from doing it. In relation to the deer, a deer runs to flee from the hunter. Likewise, one should run from the traps of the Yetzer Hara so that we don't get caught up in his net. Midrash Vaikarabah 35:1, King David tells Hashem, Master of the universe, every day I make plans to go to various places and visit various people, but my legs bring me to the synagogue. Or Chaim explains that as king and leader of his nation, King David really did plan to do a bunch of errands and king duties every day, but his legs ended up taking him to other places, as if they had a mind of their own. This is because he had a very strong desire to spend all his time and energy studying Torah, doing mitzvot. Obviously, we aren't at that level of King David, and even though the desire of studying Torah might not be so natural to us, this is what we should aspire for. Tehillim 139:35. Train me to go on the path of your mitzvot, turn my heart to your statutes, keep my eyes from seeing falsity. What he means is that a person has the ability to control his heart even after seeing something sinful or something he desires. Unfortunately, a person can't avoid seeing forbidden things all the time. Sometimes they show up unexpectedly. But for that exact reason, King David prayed to Hashem that he prevents such things from ever happening. You see, the Yetzer Hara's favorite strategy is to disguise his arguments and make it seem as if it's the wrong or the right thing to do, depending on the circumstances. It'll help us out and present tactics, perhaps to help us serve Hashem better. We have to try to be more aware of these tactics. We have to try to ignore these arguments and remind ourselves that this is our Yetzer Hara. The whole purpose of this world is the test we have here, to conquer it, to battle it. The reality is that if we have the proper motivation to catch a flight or to make an important meeting, $1 million business deal, we absolutely would have no problem getting out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. To serve a mortal king, surely we would jump out of bed. But how much more important is it when we have to serve the King of Kings? To leave us off with just a little inspiration, the Talmud Yoma 38b assures us that one who makes an effort to improve himself will receive divine assistance. Hopefully, this will help us take our service of Hashem more seriously. That should be the best reason of all to get out of bed quickly and with enthusiasm. As it says, open up for me an opening the size of the tip of a pin, and I will open for you the opening the size of the gates of the Bet HaMikdash.